This is your weekly trip to paradise, Louisiana style, with Gary Risponi. Paradise, Louisiana is also brought to you by Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, CCA Louisiana, and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament, IMCO, and by Farm Bureau Insurance.
Welcome to this week's edition of Paradise, Louisiana. I'm Gary Risponi. Welcome back to Superior Bait and Tackle here on Cedar Lane. Don't really know where to start, but as we know, we suffered here in South Louisiana, all down the coast. All of my fishing reports have been slow coming in, but I'm getting reports that I really don't like about the damage, the restoration, and everything else is going on. So, believe it or not, I got some great duck reports. Talked to Larry Reynolds, got some information on Larry and some of the other places I've been hunting. Most of the reports coming from the Southwest, so stay tuned. You're watching Paradise, Louisiana from Superior Bait and Tackle on Cedar Lane.
For the thirsty, for those who hang out in packs, for heroes, for sidekicks, for those who see the glass half empty, for those who see it half full, for those on the right, for those on the left, for those with nicknames, for those with curves, for people that cycle, for people that recycle, for BFFs, for frenemies, for those with style, for lovers, for families, for big families, for everyone.
This is Don Dubuque asking you to join me as a member of the Coastal Conservation Association. For 30 years, CCA has worked in Louisiana to conserve our incredible fisheries, making sure that our fishing is great today and for generations to come. Whether looking out for redfish and specks, eliminating gill nets, building reefs across the coast, or work at the state capitol and in D.C., CCA is doing what's best for the fish and the sport we love so much. Your $30 membership will ensure that this work and our great fishing endures well into the future. Go to ccalouisiana.com and join CCA today.
As members of a Touchstone Energy cooperative, we've all got a job to do. And the more we work together, the more we save. That's the power of your co-op membership.
Demco, your Touchstone Energy cooperative.
Before I get started, let me give a little report on Larry Reynolds. Probably most of y'all know right now. Larry is no longer the water study leader at the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. They have not appointed anybody to take his place, even though he's got new assignments and busy assignments. He's still helping. They just took the survey. You can find the results of that survey on the Wildlife and Fisheries website. They did flyover. Not only that, they were checking the habitat around. Most of the great habitat is in the Southwest. And when I get to the duck report and the teal report, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. Down in Homer, Cocotree, and all in those areas, Point of Shane, there's so much damage that I don't even know if they're worried about the ducks right now. There's still curfew in some of those places, so they're hindering the duck hunt. Where they have duck, for some reason, Larry said, the storm, a lot of ducks were around there. And after talking to Ryan Lambert, Ryan was saying that the habitat, the duck potato, the submerged aquatic vegetation. They found a lot of it still there. Nothing like Katrina or other storms that came in with high tides and salt water killed all of it. So Ron said if this storm on the Gulf right now is coming our way as far as the rain, if it's just rain and fresh water, don't see anything bad happening, and they ought to have a tremendous big duck season too. You know, you still got a week left for teal. Dove season is still going on. I made a dove hunt with my family, and I don't know if I can explain this to you, but my nephews, my brothers, all the ones that didn't have to work was at my brother's place up in Mississippi, Magnolia Retreat. And my nephew who runs it said, Uncle Gary, I don't want video. We're going to take some stills. We're going to have fun. We're going to eat. We're going to have fun. We're going to fellowship. And let me tell you what, he told me the right thing. I didn't have to worry about shooting video. I need to work on my shooting. But it was just a memorial, fun-filled, touching thing to watch my great-grandson and my great-nieces and nephews, all of them out there hunting and fishing in the lake. And it was just a beautiful weekend for me. Thank you, God. Thank you, dear Lord. It was amazing. All y'all watching this know how much fun dove hitting is. Way dove hunting has been for years, and I guess I've been doing it 40, 50 years, the first time I ever did it. But the big thing about dove hunting is the family atmosphere, kids, everybody, food, everybody can talk, everybody can shoot, everybody can watch. It's nothing better. So if you never made a dove hunt, get on one. Find a place. There are a lot of places damaged, state places, but there'll be a second split later on this year, and we hope we don't get any more things. Now, let's go to the ducks right now. First, let me tell you about Larry. Larry is I don't know if you call it the manager. He's using all these big words, but he's the wildlife manager or project manager, mostly on the coast right now, all the wildlife areas that are, some of them been neglected. I'm talking about Rockefeller, White Lake, etc. These areas need some restoration and stuff. Larry's already working. Besides his work he's doing still with helping the Wildlife and Fish Reported. This is a shout out to Larry Reynolds, one of my favorite all-time person I go to for advice. He's always been there. He's always the details of what he done. You've seen him on this show. Larry, good luck on the new endeavor, and I promise you, I will wear your butt out for information still. So God bless you. Thank you. I'm going to try to get him on here, but he already, this morning, on Monday morning, he's out working and having meetings. So, like I told you, I talked to Ron Lambert, and Ron, besides where he lives in Luling and the golf course and all the stuff he helped build, his home stood over. He stood in that home. He said the hurricane eye was over them for 6.5 hours in St. Charles Parish. And Ron had the generators. He said, I felt snug as a bug. He said, some people around me didn't do so well. He said, it had over 300 trees down in the golf course in Luling. And all the reports I'm getting there, my good friends at Outdoor Express, it's gone. I talked to Big Ed, and he told me they took all the bows and fishing equipment. They have a dealer in Lafayette that got them. He don't know if they're going to reopen or just call it quits. So, and that's the story all over I'm getting now. Going back to the Ducks, Mike Binge, the Delacroix manager, he says they made the tour. Some guys actually hunted. He said there's teal, mottled ducks in the area. And some of the people killed a few, but like it was after Katrina, there's humps that float up and big islands and stuff moving, a lot of debris. He said as far as their personal camps, and they survived, you know, but a lot of trees down, a lot of debris on the water. The water is a nasty color, but again, then he said there'd be some teals, depending on what happened. He didn't say much about the Subverge Aquatics, but he's said he'll let us know as soon as we gets a better report. Brian Briggs, my friend out there in Opelousas, he had a good opening morning hunt with his grandsons around Port Barry. He had found one pothole no bigger than your yard, he says, and the teal were coming in. The bad news was they went back the next morning and killed but two. And another thing, Brian telling me that he got great reports from all his friends in the Southwest, Gaydon, Lake Arthur, everybody there limbing out by 7 o'clock, 7:30. He says he got good reports up north. And when I'm talking about Miller Lake and them, they had some good number of teals and people killed. I talked to Brendan Dubrock, the slap hunters over there. They make a hunt and he hunts and they guide in Catahoula. Let me tell you this, that Larry Reynolds told me the numbers from Catahoula were good. I think he said it was 2.9, 2.7 or 2.9 per hunter, which is not bad on the opening weekend. He also told me that his numbers were unbelievable coming out of the Southwest in that. Brendan told me, I'm going to tell you the fishing report, the sac-a-lait is starting to turn on again. It's very good. Gaydon again. Everybody I talked to in Gaydon, Lake Arthur, excellent. I think Diane and Chris and all of them will be headed toward Gaydon when they leave here to hunt. So I don't know exactly where they hunt. I wish I was with them. But I'm going to try my best to get a teal hunt in pretty soon myself. So that's the duck report. The main thing I want to give you the report, the aquatic vegetation in the Buras, Venice, all those areas sustained. Duck potato, widgeon grass, all that is good shape. Ron said, say a prayer. Said we might have a great big duck season again in that way. Lake Catherine, Delacroix, they said they heard a few people shooting, but I didn't get any reports on that. When we come back, I'm going to have the Berkeley Abu Garcia fishing report.
For the thirsty, for those who hang out in packs, for heroes, for sidekicks, for those who see the glass half empty, for those who see it half full, for those on the right, for those on the left, for those with nicknames, for those with curves, for people that cycle, for people that recycle, for BFFs, for frenemies, for those with style, for lovers, for families, for big families, for everyone.
As members of a Touchstone Energy cooperative, we've all got a job to do. And the more we work together, the more we save. That's the power of your co-op membership.
Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
We put faith in our vehicles to connect us. We understand how important it is to have transportation you can rely on. So no matter what the road ahead brings, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for over 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise.
trying to do a little sight fishing. The sun's not quite up yet. The water's not perfect, but it is certainly getting better. On this particular fish, I was just blind casting it like a spinner. We are going to be using some craws and some popping corks today. I'm going to probably stay with the craw most of the day. That's a beautiful red. Getting deep in the marsh. We're finally getting a little bit of break from the rain, which is allowing some of these small ditches and ponds to clean up. Hopefully we can see a few of these bad dudes today. Get on some action. Good start to the morning right here. You can hear that trolling motor slapping the water. The moment that we're in another ditch here, the moment I hit a fish, I turn that trolling motor around, put it in gear, pull us away from where I caught the fish, just in case there's a school of them in there. You don't want to run over that school. Again, on that craw. Matrix craw, got it on our 1/4 ounce weedless hook, and I'm just slowly throwing it tight to the bank in these creeks and just rolling it slow rolling it like a spinnerbait. Got a little bit of grass. Could use a spinnerbait too. The matrix spin would work good, but this is virtually weedless. Don't have to worry about the little bit of grass, and it's getting the job done. Way deep off of these skinny ditches that are feeding some duck ponds. Got a hard incoming tide today. When these ponds fill up good, I'm gonna try to find some that are really grassy where I can hopefully do some sight fishing. But right now we're just blind casting and we're making a good box. When we do get in ponds, like look behind me here, you can see this is a big pond coming off the channel. I still haven't found a pond real grassy yet. Too grassy where it's filtering out that water. So I'm just looking for wakes. That time I saw a little push right there. Pushed it out, the fish was pushing, I threw near it, and then boom, he just hit it. So it's kind of like a form of sight fishing, but we're just not seeing the actual fish. You got to kind of just throw at movements. Luckily for today, nice little red. Luckily for today, the water is super flat, no wind. I mean, this is optimal redfish conditions. We got good sun, flat conditions, and we're catching some beautiful fish. So I enjoy sight fishing where you don't have to make a lot of casts, but kind of got a blind cast, a little look for wakes, look for pushes. That's where the cork's coming in handy. When you can't see them that good and you're in those ditches, you pop that cork, it just gets their attention, helps them see it better. But nevertheless, the water is getting cleaner. I give it another week or two. If we don't get torrential downpours or some kind of tropical system, it ought to clean up very nice. Actually kind of sight fished that fish. He was coming swimming by the boat, spooked. Never in a million years dreamed I'd hook him. But anytime you see a red or see a wake, you got to throw on it, whether you think he's spooked or not. Sometimes.
This is Don Dubuque asking you to join me as a member of the Coastal Conservation Association. For 30 years, CCA has worked in Louisiana to conserve our incredible fisheries, making sure that our fishing is great today and for generations to come. Whether looking out for redfish and specks, eliminating gill nets, building reefs across the coast, or work at the state capitol and in D.C., CCA is doing what's best for the fish and the sport we love so much. Your $30 membership will ensure that this work and our great fishing endures well into the future. Go to ccalouisiana.com and join CCA today.
I've been asking him to change the oil for months now, and he never did. So I finally just went to Binny's. They even washed my car for free. And you know what? It was amazing. Yeah, I left Binny's and got home before Rob even knew I was gone.
Benny? Who the heck is Benny.
Welcome back to Beer Bait and Tackle in the Berkeley Abu Garcia Fishing Report. Before we get started, let's talk about fish kills. I got some reports when I came here, and I've been getting Joe Macalusa, his great legendary self. If you go look at his article last week in the paper, he went through all the people he's been knowing for years, and they love him, and they call him, and they give him all the reports. You can tell. One of the bylines was, this ain't gonna be a quick fix. It ain't gonna be a sprint. This recovery is gonna be a marathon, and he's right. The fishing reports I got going all over and trying to call people. The fish kills, so far has been held to the Florida parishes. Amite, Tickfall, all of those areas over there, all the little creeks and everything, they took a lick. And there have been some fish kills coming from there. In Lake Barrett and Spillway, no reports yet. And I need to remind you, if you see a fish kill, you contact the Wildlife and Fisheries, or even try to reach Robbie Maxwell with Wildlife and Fisheries, and he would do something to help you. Just keep reading that paper. Joe Macalusa got articles all in there. And this morning, riding here, I was talking about Don. I know Don always keeps up what's going on at radio shows, and he was on the radio this morning with WWL talking about how to recover this and cover that. And he's another one of them legends. Thank God for him. And Joe, you talk about Miss being here, because they were always the talkers, and I was always the worker. So thank God I still got Chris Lecoq here, and it keeps me straight, and it's hard to do. I had him laughing this morning talking about what I want to run. So this is the deal now. Lake Pontchartrain, very, very muddy. Joe had in this column, and I'll get the reports I'm getting from now. He said Charles Champagne, he does this little show, goes, I don't know, probably taking video. They've been fishing all down there where they catching those bass and redfish and speckled trout from the Mystico and everything. They're not finding any grass, no submerged grass. I'm talking about coontail and different grasses like that they always fish, and the fish hang out. They're whether they're in deeper water, where they got away from, I don't know. They ain't seeing no fish kills, but they ain't seeing no fish bites either. Todd Masson is the same thing. He had a big article. You can keep up with his website, and don't forget Chaz's his website. And the Matrix Chaz, man, he's doing it. Dockside TV. Talking about the marinas, Joe had a good article in there. I've been going back and forth with Lake Catherine. You know, they had so much damage done to the dock and everything, and high water, they cleaned all that off, but they lost their store, so they're a little bit slow getting back. But the Wrigley's, the Point, and all of them are back going on. And let me go back to Ryan Lambert. Ryan told me they got electricity the other day. The lodge will be open as of today. You want to book a fishing trip or whatever, the lodge is open and down in Buras. Now, let me read this, guys. Y'all give me a break. No reports from Leeville except about all the damage, how the road tore up, how the camps are tore up. In Point Fouchon, Chris Moran, Bridgeside, the new marina down, Venice Marina. It's just, some things are not even there at all. My brother's camps in them were built to handle a hurricane. Underneath, there's a lot of cleanup. Upstairs, everybody is safe. Still ain't heard from Tommy Vidrine yet. So, Cocodrie, y'all know. Y'all been hearing the same thing everybody else is. Some of the stores and everything are wiped out. Soon as we find out, we get any news, be sure and call me, or text me, or when I'm going to say, email me, Gary at Paradise, Louisiana. Tell me what you're finding and what you see. Now, Toledo Bend, good reports. I'm just telling you, the storm spared them. They're catching the Sackler, they're catching them deep, catching them both on shiners and jigs. Before I get out of here, I want to thank and ask y'all prayers for so many things that are happening right now. The people are still suffering in Louisiana. I'm going to give a shout out to all these power crews. I'm talking about telephone companies, cable companies. They all been working hard to try to get us back so we have some communications, especially some comfort from the heat. There's still a lot of them out. Everybody in Louisiana need prayers right now. So people that know me or raised with me know I'm a rascal, but there's one thing I don't forget. Every morning and night I thank the good Lord. Most of the time I'm asking for forgiveness, but I'm not beyond thanking either. I ask a lot of favors. Believe me, there's nothing wrong with it. I ask favors and do this. Now, again, y'all power company, Demco, where I live, did tremendous. I mean, and when they fail to do something, they get right back on it. So I got to thank y'all one more time personally, because that's one of my family. Again, in a personal nature, I'm going to ask you prayers for some of my personal family. In the last month, I called him my nephew. He's my double first cousin's son. Lived across the street and raised I'm Uncle Gary. His name is Chad Responde. You'll probably see it on Facebook. I don't think obituary. His wife died a few weeks back. Also, his name was Sherry. She was a Gotso. They both passed away. All of y'all losing loved ones, either whether from storm or COVID. Y'all know what the pain is of losing someone that close. So I'm just asking for mercy. I'm asking for prayers for all of y'all. In Jesus' name, amen. See you next week.
Paradise, Louisiana is also brought to you by Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, CCA Louisiana, and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament, IMCO, and by Farm Bureau Insurance.